Everyone, let's discuss about HTML tips for developers. Coming to the first tip, we must use semantic HTML tags. Okay, so why we use semantic HTML tags? Because it will provide better structure and accessibility. So some semantic HTML tags are header tag, article tag, footer tag. Okay, so these are semantic tags, and semantic tags describes the purpose of the content. That improves SEO, means search engine optimization, and making the code easier to read. Okay, so let's make the boilerplate code. Okay, so here we can use header tags, article tags. Okay, we use header tag, article tag, footer tag. Okay, so here article tag, it will provide the article. Okay, and header tag, some headings, and footer tag like some copyright, all these things will come in the footer tag. Okay, so these semantic elements, it will help the search engines, okay, and assistive technologies to understand the content better. Assistive technologies means screen readers. Okay, so these tags are useful for that purpose. Okay, now the second tip is, okay, we must use meta tags. Use meta tags for better SEO. Okay, so this meta tags, it defines the page metadata that helps search engine and browsers to understand the contents. Okay, so these meta tags, it improves the SEO at, and it influences how our page is displayed in the search results. Okay, so this is the meta tag. Okay, so and we can add another meta tag also, meta description. Okay, so content is, we can write the contents so that SEO will know about the content inside that page. Okay, so this meta tag name is description, and above meta tag name is viewport. Okay, now coming to the third tip, which is optimize the images with image tag. Okay, tag. Okay, so we should always optimize our images by including the alt, width, and height attributes. Coming to index.html, let's create img tag. Okay, and here what it will provide attributes, src, alt. Okay, and width attribute also we have in image tag, height attribute. Okay, so this alt text, it improves the accessibility. Okay, and all these attributes, it also improves the performance. Okay, so what this alt will do, in some case when image is not available, or there is some error to load the image, in that case this alt attribute will show the text written here. Like if we have uploaded the image of sun, so we can write the alt as a sun picture. If in case picture doesn't load, this text will be shown instead of the image. Okay, so using alt tag, image tag, we can optimize images to enhance the user experience. Okay, and now we have next tip is, we should use link tag for external resources. So external resources means JavaScript files, CSS files. Okay, so we can use link tag to include the external style sheets or JavaScript files to our HTML page. So instead of providing all the CSS and JavaScript code inside the HTML template, inside the HTML file, we should make it external, and we can link to it using the link tag. Okay, let's see it with example. Suppose we have this script.js file, okay, outside, and we want to link it. So the syntax will be link, okay, Arial style sheet href is equals to this script.js, okay. Or if in any case there is a CSS file, let's say styles.css, okay, we can link it here, styles.css, okay. This is how we can link HTML with the external style sheets or script files, okay. So now the next step is use accessibility attributes. Like we have area attribute, okay, these are accessibility attributes, okay. So these are used to improve the accessibility for assistive technologies like screen reader, okay. So these attributes, it helps the users with disabilities to navigate and interact with the content. So they are good to navigate and interact with the contents, okay. So now the next step is we should minimize the inline styles. The inline styles, okay. So we should avoid the inline styles to keep our code neat and clean, okay. So as we have just discussed, we should link the styles instead of doing internally. Instead of doing the inline styling, we must use the external CSS, okay. That is, we should separate the CSS into the external style sheets. We can place our all the CSS code here, okay, and when we will link this sheet using the link tag in the HTML file, okay. And now the next step is, so we should use picture element for responsive images. Use picture element for responsive images, okay. So the picture element we should use to optimize the images for different devices like laptop, mobiles, tablets, okay. So this improves the performance by loading the images based on the screen sizes or resolution, okay. So let's see it with example. Suppose we have picture tag, okay. Inside we have source, okay. So here we can use the media attribute, okay, to give like we have minimum width, let's say 800 pixels, okay. In this way we can use the picture attribute and we can give the src set, okay. Like we have image.jpg, and we can use this media attribute to display the image for the various screen size devices, okay. Now coming to the next step, so we should use the input attributes. Use input attributes for better forms, okay. So our forms has inbuilt attributes like required, placeholder and pattern, okay, for form validations. So we should use these attributes to provide a better user experience and reduce the need for the JavaScript validations, okay. So these required attribute. This is a inbuilt validation for JavaScript. Okay. Let's see an example. Let's say we have a form. Okay. Inside that form, we have label. Okay. And we have input. Okay. So here we can use required attribute. Okay. Also we have placeholder attributes. Okay. So this we can use for the better form structure. Okay. Now coming to the next step, we can use lazy loading for images and iframes. Okay. So we should use lazy loading to improve the page load times. Okay. So we have loading attribute that delays the loading images and iframes until they are visible on the screen. Okay. So let's see it with example. Suppose we have a image. Let's say image.jpg. This is the image we have. Okay. So we can write here loading is equals to lazy. Okay. Using this, we can improve our page load times. Okay. So the loading attribute, it delays the loading images until they are visible on the screen. That improves the performance. Now the last tip is use comments to document our code. Okay. So we should add the comments to explain the complex sections of our code. So these comments, it helps other developers. Okay. And in future, it helps ourselves also, like to understand the purpose of specific elements. Okay. So we must use short comments to document our code. So these all are the HTML tips a developer must follow. Okay. To build a better and good understanding code.